What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the power of I am. I am Eric. I am all that is. I am love. I am perfection. I am always chosen. I am everyone's top priority. No one is better than me. No one compares to me. And the same goes for you. So claim it. Today's going to be a great video, guys, because I'm going to let everything out. I'm just going to speak like it is. I'm going to explain to you why I do things the way I do. I'm going to explain concepts that need clarity, that I see need clarity, because I see everything. I see everything out there. Some things need clarity. So I hope you enjoy what's about to happen. I hope you enjoy what's about to be said. Because, what was it? Was it Tupac that said it back in the day? This is the realest shit I ever wrote. Was that it? Okay. All right. A few things. First, I want to explain a few concepts. And then I'm going to get to things that need to be said. All right? So you understand, so you guys understand me. All right? Okay. And again, I don't need to explain myself. I'm doing it for my viewers. I'm doing it for people who are trying to change their lives. That's what I'm doing it for. Okay? All right, let's explain when I say there's no logic to this shit. First, let's explain there is no logic to this shit. First, let's explain what I mean by there's no logic to this shit. Now, when I speak of this, I speak of how it's going to materialize in your reality. There is no manifestation that is too big. The small and the big are human values, human meanings assigned. To the infinite within us, it is all the same. Right? And I follow scripture, guys. That's what I follow. My interpretation of scripture, the metaphysical meaning of it, and my interpretation that I used, basically, solely, that changed my life. Right? Now I'm sharing it with you. I'm not telling anyone this is the only way. Have I ever said that? This is the only way to do it. Everything else is BS. I never said that. I said this is the law, whatever the fuck you say works. I said if you decide this is going to work for you, it is. I always say that you put the limits on it or you built the freedom in your reality. That is it, right? Now, when I say there's no logic to this stuff, I'm talking about the materialization, because you will never figure out how it will, right? If you have a huge end goal, a dream, your sole purpose is to keep your focus on the end as if it's already done now, and you don't try to figure out how, because it's the law of being. To receive anything in this reality, you must have it first. I'm sure you've heard a lot of people say that. And then Matthew 13:12 just so happens to explain that. If you express lack of I don't have it any way in any area of your life, you're going to experience some of that being taken away. There won't be a constant flow, right? The logic is that there is no goal too big or too small, because everything's the same to the infinite. And scripture backs us up. I'm not going to sit here and read all the scriptures. I talk about them all the time. This is a different type of video, right? Now, as far as techniques go, we want to talk about techniques. Yeah, I say you are the fucking technique. Techniques keep you in awareness. They're a tool. They help you, right? When I say you are the technique, I am the whole fucking technique, because everything I do all day long, call me an identity technique. Call me a being technique. This is what I am. This is what I do, right? And it's basically, I'm looking through the lens of the version of me that has it at all times. I'm perceiving my 3D to be who I said I am and what I said it was. That's what I do. And whenever it comes to mind, I remind myself that's the truth. That's all I fucking do. Now, if it's something I have a lot of resistance to, I'm reminding myself a lot. So maybe you guys want to call that robotic affirming, or you want to call it whatever. You can call it that a lot, but it's as it comes to mind. There's no pressure on what I do. It's me thinking anyway. It's me being anyway. But I'm shifting my awareness, because it's awareness that manifests. It's identity that manifests. Right? So, yeah. Now, if that being said, I am the fucking technique, because every reality is materializing through me and as me. What I say goes. Okay? Now, scripture also says, my ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts. Basically, get out of the way, right? Now, another one I have to explain. So we explained there's no logic to the shit. That means don't try to figure the shit how. This ties into the next part, action. And I made an entire video on action. I made an entire one around New Year's Day. Go check it out, guys. Again, a lot of you who might come on my channel that are brand new. Thanks to everyone on TikTok sharing me. The Law of Assumption page on there. LOA Twitter girls, love you as well. Again, guys, when I practice what I preach. I said when I started this channel how it's going to be, how it's going to go when I started it. I'm the same person from the first video till now. I never changed. And I said how the YouTube channel is going to go. I said no one's going to explain it better than me. No one's going to do it better than me. In my personal reality, we all have our own experience. And if anyone who's teaching that understands that, okay, right? We're all the best in our own realities. No one's better than us in our realities. Okay? I explained the concept of how I see everyone's views pushed out, and I have plenty of proof of this and how it works and everything. Right? So, action. Okay, action. Inspired action is action you take without realizing you took it. That's one aspect of it. Also, action is doing while being it. Action is action you take while being the identity you chose to be. Because when you are functioning from that state of mind, from that consciousness, from that identity, every move is the right move unless you doubt yourself, unless you say it's not, unless you claim it's not, unless you affirm it's not. One action can be taken from multiple identities and you will bear the fruit, as scripture says, from the person you acted from. It is not the text message you send, it is who is sending it. Right? So yeah, just in case people are misinterpreting what I'm saying, I never once said to you just sit there and let shit come to you. I said, no, it'll present itself to you, but you are always acting naturally. I'm not saying to sit there and hide in a cave. No. When you're being, maybe you'll get a random thought. You act on it, as long as you still know who you are, you'll bear the fruit of that identity's action. But there's always two or multiple identities you can be when you take an action. You could be the one that's in fear, lack, trying to make something happen, doubting self. Now, who do you think is going to have a better outcome of that? It's stay in the flow of materializing their desired end. The one who knows their end and who they are and what they say they are and what they've affirmed to themselves all day and what they visualized and not going against it, or the one that's doubting, trying to make something happen because they're looking outside, not understanding how reality works, logically thinking that it has to be this way, it has to be this way. Who do you think is going to have the better result if reality is a mirror? Right? Now, another thing, I hear a lot of chatter about the self-concept, the concept of self that I teach. Hey, let me tell you something. I don't force anything on anyone, okay? Now, it's very funny to me when I see the same people regurgitate Neville Goddard, feel it, you gotta feel it, bro, you gotta feel it. You gotta feel it. But then, frown upon when someone makes themselves a priority, has inner dialogue to build themselves up, from very exaggerative ways internally, because it's our own reality. I could speak to myself as I want to speak to myself. If I say I'm the fucking man and opportunities fall at my feet, it's a whole lot better than me thinking, oh, I'm just not good enough, nothing works out for me, right? So why do you give a fuck what anyone says in their inner world? Now, that inner dialogue, I don't care what anyone says, eventually, just like the same people teach robotic affirming, eventually you're gonna think that way, eventually you're gonna feel it. Well, okay, so if I keep telling myself these things and build myself up, eventually I'm gonna feel great. Eventually, confidence is gonna be the side effect of already being the person that I desire to be, of feeling like I'm already the person I desire to be, amongst a world that hasn't fully materialized to who I am yet, but I know that the world must materialize to who I am being, because the world has reflected that to me in patterns in my life my entire life. So what would make this any fucking different? Right, so they frown upon, oh, you can't just feel good and just do that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that makes no fucking sense. Because if I build myself up, let me ask you a question. If I build myself up to feel fucking fantastic, to feel on top of the world. And this is all my inner being. And I'm seeing reflections out there. People are treating me different. I'm getting opportunities coming now. Because why? Because I can perceive it now from a higher version of perspective lens of myself. Because you can only see the world from who you are being. So who's going to take better inspired logical action, if you want to call it logical action? Who's going to take that better action? The one who's feeling fucking fantastic? The one who's seeing life from a better lens? Or the one that's still down in the fucking dumps, ignoring self and trying this practical shit that they're trying to learn, or a technique over and over when they make the technique more important than themselves? Who do you think is going to have a better fucking outcome? Again, I only speak from experience. And by the way, just because I speak from also conviction and knowing and passion is because I've experienced it, changed my fucking life doing what I do. I've helped countless people do the same. Now, I don't sit here and boast about all of it. Every time I share something of a success, it usually has to do with the topic at hand. But I don't got to fucking boast about it. I don't have to. I have YouTube people working with me. I worked with a lot of fucking content creators to remind themselves that it's not the channel, it's not the content, it's not the platform that makes you. It's you that makes you. That's why I told myself I don't need a TikTok, I don't need an Instagram, I don't gotta repost shit on every fucking platform to get exposure. Why? Because I practice what I preach. I am what I say I am. If I tell myself every day my wealth increases and I always have more than enough, I don't have to figure it out. Let me give you a fucking example of this. Okay, logical guys. One day, I think it was when I don't know, Trump became president or something. I was going on my stand store and I went to type in, I went to go in to check my stand store for appointments, right? And I'm checking it and I go to check and I realize, okay, I must have logged out somehow. Somehow, some way I logged out. So I had to retype the web address, right? I had to retype the web address. And I never had to do that, right? So you know how when you type certain things in, that a recommendation pops up. So I go to type in stand store. I accidentally mustn't have pushed the S hard enough and T shows up. So when I see the top, it says Trump launches Trump or coin, whatever, Trump coin. I'm like, what the hell is this, really? So I click on it, right? Now, remember, I'm the identity. I'm the identity that always has more than enough. Everyday wealth increases. I have so much, everything's paid in full. I don't try to figure it out. That's who I am. I don't care what it says. I don't care if I make $0 in a day. I'm still that guy. I still have that perception of reality. So why, therefore, reality proves that to me. Okay, mirror principle people and you get who you are people. I guess it only applies if, you know, for certain occasions, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so I check it out and it says, oh, okay. So I check and the Trump coin or whatever was only at like, I don't know, 60 cents at the time. So without hesitation, an inner voice in my head told me to act. Buy as much as possible. I bought it. Life-changing money right then and there. Because Trump coin rose at some point to about 70. I ended up selling it around 40 something. Right? And I'm boom, done. Now, would I have known? Was there a logical fucking path to this? If I know, well, how am I gonna figure out how my wealth increases every day? No. I had days, and I talk about this, and I have proof for everything. I had days where my eyes show me, oh look, nothing today, and then I said, it's cool. I'm making 4,897. I just got that number in my head. Boom, the exact number to the T. I've also worked with guys in the UK that have decided, you know what? And I got proof of this as well. Text his brother, hey brother, we're making 527K in 10 days in revenue, in gross sales. 111% turnover rate. It happened and on the 10th day to the T by making a decision once, deciding it with conviction. Now, conviction. I guess these days when you have conviction and passion for what you're doing because you want to help people, I guess a lot of people want to translate that to being a cult leader, you know, some sort of like this thing. Let me tell you something. If that's how you perceive it, then that's the reality you live in. That's the limited reality you live in. Because let me tell you something, guys. A lot of these same people talk about you're the god of your reality. Okay, you're the god of your reality, but you're not thinking like one. You're not thinking like one. or a demigod at least. You're not thinking like one. When I say there's nothing to figure out, that it comes to you, I'm saying all you got to do is decide the end and who you are, and every action you take is the right action, unless you doubt yourself. Because if you doubt yourself, you're not looking through the perspective lens of the identity you chose to be. You should always ask yourself, how would this version of me act, think, be, and so on, and go forward from there, right? That is how you use, I guess, logic, if you want to call it, right? You don't figure out the how. No way fucking how. Or you put limits on how the God, the Father, the universe, or whatever being, you want to align yourself with works. Because it's all the same. You get who you are. Right? So I have passion, I have conviction when I say why? Because I used to be somebody who was shy, introverted, hated people, couldn't speak, couldn't articulate words. And I kept telling myself I was something. I was this version of myself before I was experiencing it. And then I started to feel it. Because just like all these negative things people could tell themselves for decades and decades and decades, right? Eventually, you become who you say you are. And it's instant when you say so. Due to the now concept, because there is only now, and that's proven. Whether you want to back it up with science, whether you want to back it up with fucking crayons and a kid's fucking coloring book at a fucking Friendly's restaurant, it doesn't fucking matter, right? I never once, also just to prove my point, I practice what I preach. I think when I started this is before I did that meditation from the You Universe channel that changed my life as well. And I came out just articulating differently, just knowing concepts off the top of my head, just opening my eyes to this new version of myself, which then led to other ideas, which led to different actions. Everything I did was the right thing. When I was confronted by my old awareness of lack, like, oh, let me take this job that you got out of nowhere. The way I preach my things and I say there's no logic to the shit is because what I've experienced, things that I didn't have a fucking plan for, just happened to prove me right. I was at the right place at the right time, just like you see angel numbers proven to you. You see an angel number, you just so happen to fucking look to the left, look to the right, stumble and fall, look up. The guy that helps you up on your feet has a 444 tattoo. You just so happen to look at it. You just so happen to look at the fucking stove, and it's 111. That's how manifestations are presented to you. You're at the right place at the right time. You're taking action when you see angel numbers, and it's proven to you. Why? Because you're the identity that always sees angel numbers. So now if you're the identity that's always this, that always has more than enough, if you're the identity that's this, if you're an identity that's that, everything you do will lead you to there, as long as you don't contradict yourself. And a lot of people are contradicting themselves on angel numbers, right? It doesn't matter how many fucking books you read, you get proven who you fucking are. You can have a fucking plan. If the plan works for you, have the fucking plan. If you need some practical fucking advice instead, then that works for you. But I'm telling you is, don't limit yourself. Because everything is the same. The same way we created a shitty life, like I did, is the same way you could get yourself out of it. The same type of thinking, the same type of awareness. Instead, you shift it to awareness that is only that you wish to experience. And don't care how extravagant it is or how out of reach it seems. Because there's nothing impossible to the infinite. To man, it's impossible, but to God, everything is possible. Now, to the man aspect, that is the logical part I am talking about. We don't do shit. When manifestation occurs, it unfolds and it happens that way. So for people that sit there like, oh yeah, I did this and I got 50 and I magically got 50K in your account. So the same people that are like, oh, you got, I manifested 50K in my account. Was there logic to how that fucking happened? Some people just woke up and it was in there. Some people went through something that led them there. Some people it was an accumulation. So that my point is, stop trying to figure it out. That's the logical mind trying to get in the way and try to figure shit out. And if you do, you're saying I don't have, because if you had it, you wouldn't be trying to fucking figure out anything. Now, I will, to the end of this channel, I will tell everyone to speak to themselves with the highest glory, the ultra gloriousness of themselves, right? I don't care where they are. I don't care what their body looks like. I don't care if they're out of shape. I don't care if they don't have a particular skill. The first step is knowing you are already the person you desire to be. And then from there, whenever it comes to mind, you remind yourself. You give it to yourself internally. It's as within, so without. And then every step you take is leading you there. Just like every step we took, like my own self, who always complained about life but didn't have enough. Every step I took led me to more poverty, led me to more struggle, led me to more of my marriage getting ruined, led me more to these things, led me more to that. So you know what? I think if I go the other route and say this, and this, I could get myself out of it. And I did. I did by killing the old me and only thinking and seeing and perceiving the world as the way I would like it to be. And you know what helped me get there? Being my best self, telling myself I was the fucking man when I felt like shit. Telling myself that, you know, I'm perfect, I am loved, when I wasn't experiencing love and none of my circumstances were perfect. That's what I was fucking telling myself. So if you want to tell, you know, you want to say that's being an occult leader and telling people bullshit. Okay, the same people that tell you got to feel it real. You make no fucking sense. I'm not even telling anyone to like and subscribe to my channel. I think it was only the first 3 videos where I said like and subscribe really quick at the end. And then after I did that meditation I said earlier, I didn't have to. I'm practicing what I preach. I don't have to be on every platform posting the same snippets to get exposure. My I amness exposes me. Everything is done for me. It comes to me because I'm the identity I said I am. In my experience. People can only think what I think. That's why I don't care what anyone thinks. So if people can only think what you think, if everyone's you's pushed out, and everyone sees the world as you see yourself, then I'm going to see myself as the most glorious thing. And there's nothing you guys can, or anyone doesn't like my page can do about it. Quite frankly, you're still watching me, right? I don't beg for subscribers. I don't even beg for coaching. I don't beg anyone to buy any of my shit. I don't. I say, I put it in the awareness. Hey, you want to work with me? It's there. You want to be on the membership side? It's there. That's what I do. It's there. So yeah, I want everyone to feel their best selves because everyone I work with doesn't feel that way about themselves, and then they function from that identity's lens, and you can only see who you are being, right? So in order for reality to shift to you, you got to think like the consciousness, like the divine being that you are one with, and be indifferent to the outside. Understand how reality works. But the logical mind is attached to earthly things and earthly ways that man has to do things. So you drop that, you detach it, the outside can't validate you. I'm not telling you to sit like a fucking hermit and not do anything. I'm saying when you bring yourself up here and you have confidence and you build it, because the confidence is a side effect of building yourself up. And then everything you do is the right move. Just like everything you do led you to the wrong place. Now when you see from a different lens and you just see how reality works, you see it the other way. Right? There is no logic to this shit. The way things have happened, the way money has popped up in my life, no logic. The way I got the job that saved my life, no logic. The way I got a dog that saved my life, no logic. The way that I've grossed for a combination of everything out of fucking nowhere, I'm almost being on the street, there's no logic. I couldn't have figured that shit out. I didn't have a fucking plan. I just told myself I had one. Right? So again, I've helped people, I've helped content creators, tons of them. And I've seen them have success with it. Just with a shift of awareness, knowing who they are. And I'll continue to do that. So, call it what you want. You know, call it what you want. But I don't have to put their name out there. I don't have to constantly, whenever I make a video, my client. Okay, we get it. You have. I don't do that shit. I explain how I view things, how it worked for me, and if people I've helped, if it correlates with the lesson I'm trying to say, with scripture, that's when I share it. I put it in the community post and I do it that way, which I'm actually going to do a great one about forgiveness, how to actually forgive someone and remove patterns in your life. And there's no logic to that shit. You think there's a plan or some sort of practical reason why forgiving someone who did you wrong by seeing them as perfect, which then makes you perfect, because if they were always perfect, you're no longer carrying that bad energy or whatever that caused the pain it caused you. You're no longer carrying it as an identity anymore. So therefore, you're no longer emitting that like an airborne virus to everyone, which therefore means you have to then experience it possibly in other people and patterns and other circumstances, because unconsciously you fear the same thing happening again because it's a part of you, because you identify with it, and everything is identity that manifests. You manifest the identity and everything you have to know to be true about self-worth internally, that it goes away because if that particular event never happened in the past, or if you see that person who did you wrong as perfect in the past, if they were perfect, that means you're perfect. That's why scripture says, you know, I forgive you, forgive them as I forgive you, because it's not about forgiving the person, it's about forgiving you, that energy that holds in it. So you think doing that, I have plenty of success stories. Someone manifesting a specific person based by selecting a new past of the person who raised them, because that person would never have left them if they never carried that energy. You got to look at your reality as you emitting an energy, a magnetic aura of who you are carrying. So if you think, you know, people hate you, then you're going to notice that more. You're going to see that because you will only see who you are. You will only see reality from that lens. And if it doesn't match who you're trying to be, then you're going to be a constant struggle. I need to figure shit out. Okay? I'm not telling you this is the way to do it. I never forced anything upon anyone. I'm just sharing my experience, and I'm sharing countless experiences of other people that I've helped. And there's no logic to what has happened. People getting rid of anxiety, depression just by being the person who's perfect, has always been perfect, and perfect right now, and the symptoms go away. Again, no logic to it. Do you think they're going to figure it out? It happened. It went away. It just went away. They could have been led to a specialist that figured them out, and then it went away. Either way, it went away. That's why you don't figure out the how. Someone with a skin condition, their whole life couldn't figure out what the hell it was, no doctor, nothing. They told themselves, I'm perfect, I've always been perfect. And they kept building themselves up. They looked at that area as through the lens of the version of them that didn't have it, as perfection, beauty, everything is great. And they just so happened to bump into someone that figured out that they had a parasite with some frequency machine they had, or some holistic machine, and then they listened to a frequency and it got away, and it went away for the first time ever. You think they would have figured that shit out? That's why I mean there's no logic to this shit. Right? Now, I want to piss more people off. Okay, so check this out. So my guy Dante, he's a moderator on my side. He's worked with me before, and his whole perspective of life has changed. And I see greatness in this guy. He's getting new ideas. He's getting new things, right? He had new things come into his mind. He's seeing the world from a different lens, and his life has changed, right? That's what this is about on this channel, right? I try to simplify it. Simplify it. If you want to make it more complicated, then that's what you have to do. I'm not telling you what you have to do. I'm not telling you to watch me. I'm sure as hell not telling you to worship me. I'm sure as hell not saying all this fucking nonsense. Cult leader, bro. It's the fucking message. It is not the guy. Right? But it's also from a concept of self standpoint. It is not the channel, it's the identity behind it. It is not the content, it's the identity behind it. It is not a message you send someone that you love. It's the identity who is sending it is the result you get. That speaks for itself. That's why you can wonder, why is this guy doing so well? Who are they being? Who do they know themselves internally? But anyway, back to Dante. He created a channel. I'm going to link it in here. Orion Affirmations, and he made a channel of music. He's creating his own music with AI, and it's, you know, kind of like affirmations in music of things that I would say absolutely ridiculous. The reason why I love ridiculous, exaggerative affirmations about self is because it invokes an emotion and conviction. And emotion is the language of God. Emotion is the language of the subconscious, whatever you want to call it. And that just things makes more fun, easier reflections. You feel great. You become magnetic. Pair that with the mantra I say in the beginning of my videos. Boom. So now, instead of getting bullshit songs stuck in your head, like from Drake, or crying yourself to sleep with Billie Eilish, listen to shit like this. And I'm telling you, you're going to feel fucking great. You're going to feel on top of the world. And that's fucking huge. Because who has a better chance of bringing in their desired reality? The one who's feeling on top of the world for the first time in a long time, and then taking actions from that state of consciousness, or the one down in the dumps, trying to find a practical way, well, there's got to be something I'm doing wrong. No. Action is action you take while already being it. Action that you take without realizing you took it. Natural. If you're confused, should I, would I, I'm uncertain. Reality is going to reflect uncertainty. So anyways, check out my guy's affirmation channel of music. It's fucking beautiful. He just released some rap one, better than 99% of the rap that's out there, about wealth. And it's most ridiculous. You know, it's amazing. You just feel it. And then from there, helps you remind yourself who you are. And you will see, I promise you'll see the reflections out there. And there's no logic to it. Logic. I've decided, this person's doing this right now. Did it in 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Was there logic to that? Did I have to figure that out? No, because the reason why those happen so quickly, I have zero emotional attachment. I've seen so much change that my ego, logic mind's on board. And that's what you want. You want that side on board so you don't have to fucking figure shit out. You just know it's going to happen. It's seeing these things. The seeing is believing side has seen you succeed. So therefore, you don't hear that ego in your mind, right? The ego is the logical one that's trying to prove you wrong, looking for proof. So having a higher sense of self quiets the ego. It's like, oh yeah, well, you are this person, right? Of course that person, loves you. Of course you're successful because of this, because you're all that is, because you're magnetic, because you're the love of their life, because you're the identity who always has more than enough. But if you're down in the dumps and don't focus on self and don't treat yourself like a fucking king, your ego is gonna fucking laugh at you. And that voice in your head is like, that doesn't make any sense. Why do they love you? You don't have that love for yourself. And again, this is all internal work. I'm not going up to someone at the fucking coffee shop and saying, hey bro, I'm all that is. No, all that is your actual identity. Now, you can not agree with me or not, but hey, that is what happens. That is what happens. Period. There's no logical shit to why you hang out with someone, get in a relationship, and then all the fears, worries, doubts before you had proof end up showing up. You didn't have a fucking plan for that, right? No, you were just being that person that expected that. But I'm telling you, when you come to this channel, self is number one, and then it helps you when you affirm, when you do techniques, because yeah, techniques help you get there, but you are the technique as a whole, because everything works through you as you give the technique power. But the same way that you chose versions of people that didn't suit you is the same way that you choose ones that do. Follow Orion affirmations, saturate your being with greatness, and the world will start showing you who you are. Greatness. All right? Now, again, I love you all. I want everyone here to succeed. I tell people, you don't need me. But if you want to work with me, it's there. I don't hide anything. I don't constantly promote. I practice what I preach. And that's it. So all I know is, a little over a year ago, I was really close to the worst moment in my life. So now that I see how I turned it around, and there's no explanation of how, I just kept getting guided. I kept thinking everything I did was the right move, because that is what I was telling myself. And I kept telling my ego to fuck off. And hell, I felt like dying sometimes. I mean, internally, the feeling, I felt like shit. I heard the voice, I felt this, but I didn't accept it. I didn't allow it to tell me who I am. And what helped me get through that and defeat that Mike Tyson-esque old awareness of mine while I was just only training for a week in the boxing ring was the concept of self that I kept telling myself that I'm all that is, and everything that scripture was showing me from a metaphysical meaning and the way I saw it. And that's it. You can agree with me, you can go against me. It doesn't matter, but this is what works for me. And this is what has worked for countless people I've helped. And that's it. And if you don't agree with it, who cares? It's the law of being, it's the law, whatever you say works. Stick to your methods, stick to your channel, and don't watch me. Right? I never say subscribe. I never say check me out. I never say, I don't do it. Just don't watch me. Right? But I wish you well, because you are me. Right? Because I see all the infinite potentials and perspectives through everyone else. So what's there to be upset about? Nothing, it's the emotional attachment to things and outcomes. And I made this video to let everyone know you're deciding everything. You decide which route to go, what to believe, how it's going to happen. But I'm saying is, okay, everything you do is the right move unless you say it's not. But make yourself the priority. It'll make your life easier. But then again, that's just my perspective. All right, guys. I love you all. I really do. I know you're having a great day, but just in case, I'll assume it to be great.